So in this module we learn about cell referencing in Microsoft Excel. So there are three types of cell referencing: relative referencing, absolute referencing, and mixed referencing. That's basically the mix of relative and absolute. So in the first one, the relative referencing, we basically refer each cell with its own address. So as you would have seen, let's see, this cell has an address of G6 as shown in the top left corner here, and whenever you want to use this cells, whatever's stored inside the cell, it could be referred to as G6, and whatever's inside the cell would be used up. So for example, we're trying to find some result, and we've written a formula here that's already given to us, and so this is the formula in the formula bar, and it refers G6, H6 and I6. These are the three cells that are also highlighted in the respective colors, and so that by that we know at these addresses whatever is the data is getting added, subtracted, or basically being done, whatever's happening with the formula. We're not trying to learn the formula here. So that's cell referencing, and that's the relative referencing. The advantage of relative referencing in Microsoft Excel is, if you want to do a similar process, like in the next step here, we want the same kind of computation happening in the next cell as well, we can just drag the formula using the right bottom corner of the cell that has the formula initially, and we can drag it all the way till the space which needs these formulas. So again we have the results. We can see the 73 that has come up is using these three numbers like we would have wanted, and so on. So this is how the cell referencing, the relative referencing works. This is the best advantage of relative referencing. You can just drag and copy your cell formulas, and it will work just the way it used to work in the first one. Obviously the disadvantage here is that the relative position of these cells, the constituent cells, the ingredient cells that went into the formula here, have to be exactly same as the constituent cells were related to the first one. Like one space after towards the left there's a subtract, and one space to the left, further left, is add, and so on. So since this was exactly in the same format, this worked out fine for us in this situation. But let's look at the situation where we're trying to convert length and width into that's in centimeters into a length and width that is in inches, and there's a conversion rate given to us. Again, we're not trying to learn the formulas, but the basic algorithm here is multiplying length in centimeters with a conversion rate to find the length in inch, and so similar for the width. Now if we try to do the same thing here as we did in the relative referencing, we'll try to drag this formula all the way to the next cell or further. We see 0. What's the reason? Let's have a look. If we click here with the cursor, we find that it's actually referring to the wrong cell. We wanted it to refer to the conversion rate cell, and there's only one of that, so it's still using relative referencing, and we need something better to solve this problem. How do we do that? Well, for first we correct this to M12 because that's the correct cell. Now it's multiplying the right things. Let's see if this result is good enough. It seems so. Now how do we make sure that if we drag this formula, it refers still to the conversion rate cell while the length cell keeps on getting relative reference? So this is the way to do it. We're trying to freeze the M12 cell, or basically we're trying to freeze the row number 12 for this particular formula. To do that, we'll go to number 12 on M12 and we'll put a dollar sign in front of it and press enter. So it's the same formula that has a dollar sign in front of 12 in M12, because that's what we're trying to fix in our formula. And the result will still be same, but when we drag the whole formula along, it's now working, like it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. And the reason behind this is we made an absolute reference to M12 by, so whatever I do vertically downwards, it's going to still have reference to only M12. It's not going to go to M13, M14, M15 like it's happening with the blue part here. But what happens if I, again, with this absolute referencing, I copy this formula towards the right for the width column? It again doesn't work because we have fixed it only to fix it vertically, not horizontally. So if we want to fix it horizontally, we will have to, again going back, we'll have to fix the column M as well. So put a dollar sign in front of M and remove the dollar sign from 12. And now when I copy this formula towards the right, it has again M12. Now just for the sake of convenience, we could put a dollar sign in front of both of them, M as well as 12, because this way the conversion rate cell is never moving, never changing, so it works for everybody. So we can now drag this, and since the dollar sign is available for both M and 12, the cell referencing is absolute for every cell in the length and width inch conversion here. So that's the right way of doing it. That was absolute cell referencing. The next is mixed referencing. Now here we're trying to find the new rates of your product's jeans and shirt that has a price of $80 and $30, and across months the price is getting reduced as the stock gets older, and the reduction is 20, 40 and 80% across these first 3 months. So we're trying to find out what is the price of jeans and shirts in every month. Now this is a little complex formula, but it's, again, we're not trying to learn the formula here. It's already been solved for us. What we want is for January and shirts, it should refer this one, the shirts on the price, and the January part in the reductions. Similarly for, let's say, March and jeans, you need the first one in the jeans and March month in reduction for reduction calculation. So basically, to do that, we can clearly see that the vertical relation here is going to work fine. So we don't need a vertical absolute referencing for jeans and shirts, but we will need a horizontal referencing as we go forward towards the right. As we drag this formula towards the right, we don't want this to move towards the right, so basically we have to fix it to the column H. So H18 needs to be fixed at H, and that is done using dollar sign. Alright, and on the horizontal side and vertical side for the months, I think on the horizontal side it works out fine because January is still January, and but on the vertical side you don't want it to move, at the bottom once I drag it at the bottom right there. So again, to avoid it going below, we will have to put a dollar sign in front of 22 here, because that's where these are stored. There's no point going below it. So I think now we're ready to drag the whole formula to whichever place we want, and it should give you the right results. Let's drag towards the right first and towards the bottom first, and you see no zeros because we had referenced everything properly for this particular cell range. Thank you.